But all right, Sam. Let's switch to Squid Game. How should we attack this? You said that it's your favorite show ever, if I'm not mistaken.
No, since Westworld season one.
Since that's right.
Yeah, it's season since Westworld season one. It is. I thought it was fantastic, and like what is your general take, overall take? Bad, good,
Oh
bad.
no, I mean I loved it too, and I mean I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It becomes one of my favorite shows if you put together how entertaining it was and like the political and social commentary if you put them together. But yeah, just like yesterday when we spoke about it, I told you, I mean, the other show I would put in that category would be The Sopranos, which I absolutely love. That's probably my favorite TV show. But no, if not, Squid Game was really, really good. And they're going to have a season two, which is
That's great. Yeah.
interesting. I wouldn't, yeah, have seen that coming.
Yeah, I thought it's yeah, I wasn't sure if it's gonna become a sequel. Yeah, it's gonna. By the way, a spoiler warning. We're gonna do the spoilers, so we should say that probably before
Oh,
we
yeah.
really get into it. Yeah, but
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
full
say
of
if
spoilers.
yeah, if I don't know if you've seen I think I told you last night, but you haven't seen Battle Royale. But it was literally like Battle Royale and Parasite sort of mixed together in many ways, but better than both of them in my view. And yeah, I thought it was yeah, everything, production value wise, story wise, character wise, everything, just best thing since Westworld season one, and generally, yeah, top five like TV shows out there, media contents out there overall.
Yeah. Okay. So, what
Mm.
are some interesting social and political like messaging that we should unpack? Should we start that way,
Yeah,
or
yeah, I
you
think
tell me?
that's
You're
it.
more our resident expert when it comes to movies and TV shows.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, they Wisecrack did a fucking great
Yeah.
video on this, so I urge everybody to watch their video. They discussing David, like they discussed the yeah. Well, I think they are correctly pointing out the issue being discussed is debt.
Yeah, that was very
Pretty
interesting.
much, I mean, obviously, the film is like has some elements of anti-capitalism. There is quite a couple of obvious references, like the fact that everybody owes money, and the fact that he remembers at some point, for example, he flashbacks to a strike one of the characters was involved in, and the rich and poor dynamic is very much through the VIPs is very much bold, is very bold, and all that. But besides that, it's very specifically, I think, about debt and a society that is in debt, and this feeling of guilt that comes with it, and how it pretty much destroys every relationship you can have with other human beings, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't pick up on the debt thing until I watched Wisecracks. I
The
mean,
voice.
of course, it's so obvious. I mean, his doctor friend is like badly in debt, right?
Yeah,
He is in debt too, but then I guess I forgot if
his
they mentioned
doctor
that
friend.
his friend was a doctor, right? His neighborhood friend.
No, he was a financial guy. He did
Sorry,
committed
sorry.
fraud. That's why they were
Oh yes,
after him.
yes. Sorry. Um. So him. So yeah. And the other characters, I guess they mentioned that they're in debt, but in my head it was just more like people who are in a horrible situation. But I guess debt was a main part of it, and how I guess debt has ruined a lot of people's lives. Um, in South Korea. Yeah, that message. I mean, Wisecracks really focus purely on the whole debt thing, really.
Yeah, they're great, and yeah, they mentioned this. They mentioned David Graeber, if I'm not
Yeah.
mispronouncing his name, who wrote this famous book, I think, "Bullshit Jobs," or coined the term "bullshit jobs." And then they discussed this sociologist philosopher from Italy called Maurizio Lazzarato,
Mhm.
and I think yeah, that's a great. I mean, they discussed the whole concept in a bit much greater detail than we do here. But I think yeah, it was great because I mean, it was. I have this from Financial Times, was it? If I'm not mistaken, they wrote this. Yeah, Squid Game has the lucidity of a parable and potency of a medieval fairy tale, and I completely agree with that. It felt like a fairy tale, like a brother original Brothers Grimm's fairy tale that that pretty much you have they enter they enter a scenario, and it's got a very very dark ending in
Yeah.
the end, and the connection with the children's gameplays and all that. So I think that it was a perfect. I found it. I love movies that work sort of as fairy tales. If anybody's seen Hannah, that's a great movie. And this one felt like that as well. You felt like there are monsters, and with the masks
Yeah.
and all that. So yeah, it was great. I think overall though, both production value and story wise, it was just so good, and it was a perfect allegory for just life in general, because you sort of learn children's games that
Hmm.
are supposed to socialize you into a society, and then as you grow older and stuff, you pretty much you you form friendships, and then if it's partnerships, and if it's economic partnerships, then you usually end up pretty much. I mean, I'm probably gonna backstab you at some point,
Well, I
so
don't know. This is an
it's just
economic
like,
partnership. I wish it was. This is more like a.
yeah, yeah. It's more like a time waste. Yeah. But so it was a perfect allegory for life, and the ending, again, a spoiler, all that, I found to be a just I found the ending perfect. I don't know what you thought of it.
So, which aspect of the ending?
Or the old man
Hmm.
and Gigun, Ilhan and Gigun, I
Yeah.
believe I read the subtitle, conversation at the very end, and they bet, and the old man like setting up himself to lose and all that. So, like, kind of saying that I hope I'm wrong, but
But
in a
man,
way,
that old man though, like now that you like watch it and think about it, he's completely
perfect.
evil and detached from like everything. Like he doesn't even like care. The whole thing is for like a game for him, right? Like he plays this game because it's amusing for him. He sets it up because it's amusing, and he's always watching people. Like he doesn't really have like this deeper thing about him where he's like doing this because of some like alternative motive and stuff like that. It's just because he finds it entertaining and he's bored, and like
No,
I guess
no,
because his job and to make money.
well, that's the thing, though. That's the, I think, message of the film, that even if you have that much money and all
Hmm.
that, when you have a society that is so unequal or in debt, uh, even he can't feel real joy, because he's just so separated. But I would say he's not really evil. I think that's the whole point. Like,
Is
as
he
a
not?
view, like, yeah, especially, I don't think, like, I may be one of the few people that can say he's evil, because I don't watch any sports. I don't watch any of the X Factors, American Idols, reality shows, because whenever I do watch them, I genuinely, because since I was a kid, I've seen a lot of similar movies with VIP people and masks and
Mm.
like betting on people, like the greatest game and all that. If like famous, thing. So I mean, I think what's the difference between this and people who watch Premier League or people who watch NFL?
In
What's
what
the difference
sense?
between? It's the same thing. It's just a more shortened version of it. Like
Who watch
NFL,
what?
literally
Who?
now. Like
Who?
what's the difference between people like that and VIPs, and the old Korean guy? Old Korean guy was Ilhan was
I
the
mean,
original,
let's
I
put the
suppose.
NFL aside, but like people who watch, I mean, nobody dies playing soccer or nobody dies playing basketball. I mean, it
No,
is
they
a
physically harm themselves to for money, or the
you
programs
very
that they jump on balls in water and then they're thrown to walls, or Jackass, the movie,
yeah.
movie series, Jackass.
I mean,
What's the? I don't see,
yeah. I
like,
mean, they
it
decide
is
to
the.
behave that way and act that way, and
They
make
decided,
money.
they signed the contract. They had a
But
vote and
that's one
everything.
of the main things of the movie, like this like fake like impression, like this false illusion of having choices, and like everybody's they keep on saying, oh, everybody's equal here and everybody's on the same level. I
It's
mean,
not.
that's a big
I don't.
theme and
I
criticism
don't.
of the movie, of like the
I don't
illusion of
agree.
democracy and choice.
I don't think it's the illusion. Really, it is real, but it's very limited,
Yeah.
and that's reality. It's a very, very good description of reality. I don't think it's. I think it's saying that humanity is quite. I mean, I think the movies. like open to interpretation, but I do think it is in parts are showing us that humanity can be fucking stupid and evil, and they vote for money, they vote to stay in. I don't think that's really.
I mean, they didn't really have a. Yeah, I mean,
What do you
what
mean
was
they
the
didn't
choice
have a
for
choice?
them,
Of
right?
course
What
they
was the
had a,
choice for them
they couldn't. They said
to return
that's
back
the
to
thing.
their
He said,
lives scarred and still broken and still have no
yeah,
money and on debt?
yeah, that's a
So I mean,
choice.
it's not.
Yeah,
It is
exactly.
a choice, but it's not a good choice. I mean, it is
Well,
a
the
choice,
death
but
is
yeah.
not a good choice either, but they chose. And by the way, I mean, this is in the film, so we don't know in reality if this would be the case. So I'm not. It's not like statistics, but the host says like 97% return, so they could have not returned, right? After the
Yeah, they
first
could
game.
have, but you understand why they return, and I
So
mean,
it's not
yeah.
like if majority voted, we're gonna bring everybody back, like. So yeah, sure, that's the. And again, by the way, if I were in their place, I may have chosen the same thing. Though I'm not like judging, but I'm saying that yeah, that's humanity. That's what it is. There's this idiocy that I'm a special and I'm gonna be. But of course, yeah, there is like the last person that votes first time is actually Ilhan. Kind of some people saying implying that he was always in charge of the game. I mean, the twist of this TV show I think is one of the best twists ever, because I kind of guessed a lot of things. Like I completely guessed that the game they're gonna be two people for is gonna be against
Yeah.
each other, because they quickly started like being with their friends and stuff. So something's gonna go wrong there. But
I would
the
have.
end. Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, I didn't mean
Go
to
ahead.
break you up, but one wise thing I had in my head, I was like, I would have never wasted energy on trying to pick a partner. I don't know why they did that, because they didn't know exactly
Yeah,
how it's going to go. That was my only
exactly.
criticism of them during the game. I was like,
Uh,
just chill, don't pick,
and
don't pick.
I found everybody to be so sexist for no reason. Like there is no
Really?
indication. There is no indication that all the games besides the tug of
Oh
war,
yeah, yeah,
or
or about strength.
the
Yeah, yeah,
first game
yeah,
has nothing to do with strength.
yeah,
So I don't understand. Every time you're like, no, we don't want a girl in our group.
yeah.
Why not? Like, what is? I would have tried to try to. What you call it, like has as many
Yeah,
variety as you can, but
especially since so many
every
smart
time you're
girls.
like, no
Yeah.
girls. Yeah, we don't want any
No,
girls.
I thought
I
about that
just,
every time too. Exactly. I was like, why do they care if
why?
there are girls on their team or
Yeah, it
not?
was the stupidest like concept. Like I mean, I didn't get it, but yeah, it was. But the old man twist, and there were so many hints to him being like the fact that he smiles throughout the first game,
Mm,
and the fact that he's not supposed to in the game with the marbles. He's kind of probably was gonna stay aside if Gigun didn't choose him.
yeah.
And then the fact that everywhere looks like his house, he knows all the games. His hand is not locked into the rope when they do the tug of war.
But all
It's
these
just
things, there's
so
no way
good.
you can catch
So
these things while watching them for the first time.
that's the amazing part. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like the great twist. It's just that's the best part. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I really hope season two is not. I must say that my main criticism is the color of his hair at the end. That was a bit too. I don't know. It was too bright a red. I expected a darker shade of red. It was just so. It was like your microphone's red. I didn't
Yeah.
expect it on somebody's head.
Maybe to like maybe so it just like stands out because apparently red in the show symbolized power.
Power.
And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's what. Yeah, yeah. But
And
yeah,
yeah.
and very interestingly, like the guy who recruits him in the
Yeah.
train station, in the metro station.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I think the director or creator did this on purpose. He's the guy. Like I love it when some directors, like I think Quentin Tarantino, Nolan, Fincher in Gone Girl does that. He's the guy from Train to Busan, which is a great Korean film, zombie film. I usually hate zombie films, but Train to Busan is a great zombie film. And I don't know if he chose him because he's a major actor, right? And it's a small role. But I don't know if he chose him on purpose because it had to do with a metro or a train
Mm.
station. So it was quite interesting. That was yeah. It was just when directors choose certain, like I think David Fincher does that in Gone Girl with Tyler Perry. They choose a character from real life that they know audience gonna have a certain reaction to because of thing. So you know that it's just everything about this thing is thought out. It's perfect.
It's brilliant. And while we continue, I see there's quite a few comments, so I don't want to lose any.
Really,
And there's one here
we
that
did
I
give a spoiler warning
that I find
if
quite
anybody's angry.
interesting. No, no one's angry. It's saying that another problem is the fact that there are only multiple class societies, but nobody explains that to young people in school or so. But I mean, this just caught my attention because class, like different classes and stuff, is something that's very like it's hard to talk about. I guess nobody talks about it to children and all that. It's just something that you kind of have to learn yourself. They might talk about the past, but about different classes in
Class? I
society.
don't know.
Yeah,
They do. I don't know. They do. I mean, I generally education system sucks, but we talked about class when I was a kid.
yeah, but like yeah,
We
I mean,
talked
you
just like
do,
we
but
talked about religion.
yeah, no, that's true. But like in that way
Not
of
in
like
a
understand if
deep way,
yeah.
but fair. No, I just yeah. Okay, yeah, I didn't understand there are multiple what.
Oh, there. You have to read it. You don't have it in front of you, so it's hard.
All right.
Multiple classes, and someone else, Microsoft World Technical Support, going to have to give it a watch. It's on Netflix, right? Yep, it's on Netflix.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
listen to anything we said before this. Definitely.
No, no, no. Oh, yeah, true. I mean, sorry about the spoilers. And Bill wrote about the last comment that I just mentioned that poor people talk about it with their kids. So again, talking about class and that. I'm not too sure about that, Bill.
I mean, some people do. Some
Yeah.
people do. It's probably poor rich.
But the amount of spoilers, I mean, not sorry, the amount of little things in the show, though, it is amazing. And even like the
Yeah,
details that they were
Easter eggs.
showing, that the triangles and all that, they were like put in all the different places. And even in the beginning, when they shoot, when in the first game, when they're shooting at people, and if you understood how the sensor work, you would see that around the old guy, there wasn't like a heat map.
Yeah,
But the craziest one
it's
is
crazy.
that when they're in the inside room where they all sleep, when the white shot happens, all the games are on the wall, right there.
Yeah, if the beds weren't there in the beginning, like they would have noticed. Yeah, they pretty much all the games are there. I think. Yeah, even the last game is there. I just remembered. Yeah, even the last game is there.
Yeah.
So they could have guessed it all. Yeah. I mean, I must say the hopscotch glass one. That one was fucking crazy.
Which one
like
was
I
that?
couldn't have done that. The hopscotch glass, the one with the bridge, the glass bridge.
Oh my god, yeah.
That I would have just fuck it. I'm just jumping. Fucking. I'm not gonna.
And the old guy
so, like
lost
the old
before
guy
that,
was-
right?
yeah, he took himself out before
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, that was again like the way they did that, the way they shot that, even
Yeah.
like because I was goddamn crying for that old man, and then, god damn it. Anyway, they distract you so well. I love it when it's like the sleight of hand. It's like a magician's trick.
Yeah, and then I was sorry about that. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm getting some of these. I'm seeing some of these comments on the side about class and stuff, and it's distracting me. But you
let
don't
me
seem
take a
them.
look.
There's like a whole thing of on class.
There's a whole thing on class going on.
Yeah, and
But
like
did you? What did you? I mean, it's quite funny. I find Korean and Japanese movies, the ones I've seen, the acting is really interesting. It feels slightly more exaggerated than
for sure.
Western movies. I don't know if
I mean, the lady
in a
the
good
la-
way, in a very
yeah.
good way.
I mean, like the main character, he's just like so overly nice, and he's just like the nicest person, and he just cares so much. The crazy girl is like absolutely crazy. The bad like mafia guy is like the stereotypical like mafia looking person, and the way that like his crew like just go around him and worship him while he's in power is just like
I love how within 2 minutes you get a gang. Like it doesn't take like. But I love the honest trailers and fandom screen junkies. I don't know what they're called these days. They said the Korean lady is as if Nicolas Cage came to was reincarnated as a Korean lady, and it is so true. She's got such Nicolas Cage vibes with her crazy eyes and all
Yeah,
that. Myung Pink, what was her name? Myung Punk. It was her performance was fucking great as well.
man.
Everybody's, but
And
like it's exaggerated, but not in a like in a way that actually real life sometimes is like the way that he fights with his mom and all that. You don't see that in movies usually, but you do see that in real life, like people arguing with family members, that type of thing. So it was really good overall. Like just best thing I've seen again since Westworld season one. So
yeah, so many messaging. I just put out two other part of messaging that we should talk about, but before that, and then I'll try to distract myself less with these comments. And this is really not your fault. No time, Toyes. He said, "Sorry, man, I didn't mean to distract you. No, it's not your fault. Keep the comments coming. I have to get used to
it's good for
looking at them
our
at the
engagement.
yeah. I need to learn how to look at them at the appropriate time." But two other things. I mean, there was the immigrant storyline too, with the
Oh,
Indian
Ali
guy
Abdul, yeah,
who was taking advantage
Pakistani.
outside of the game, Pakistani and outside and during the game. And then there's also the two
And it
girls.
didn't amount to anything. It was just literally that he was exploited, and
Yeah,
even his like at the end, couple of families also at least get some closure. But no, nothing, zilch.
yeah, nothing for him. And then there's also the whole North Korea and South Korea dynamic, where there are those two girls. They're pretty much the same, the two sides of the same coin. I mean, they're both in crappy situations. Just one is from North Korea and the other one is in South
Vice versa.
Korea. But and
It
also
was
going.
interesting that I loved how the like while it didn't glorify South Korea in any shape or form.
Mm,
It didn't also glorify North, like because you also sometimes get it other way around that, oh, I came here and I am so disillusioned that this is so bad. But no, it wasn't like trying to just
mhm.
say that. She was still trying to get her mother out. So it was a bit of a like very sober, very, I would say, clear-eyed view of both society. It seems, I mean, not both societies, but just presentation of both societies.
Yeah, definitely. So what else? What else? Any other themes or super interesting stuff? I mean, there was I was seeing again in the movie, like even I was seeing the reviews, even though the soldiers they were all in red, I mean they were probably being controlled as part of the game too. And although like the symbols on the side of this part of them being controlled is me adding it, but they had the PlayStation symbols on
The
their head,
symbols there, yeah.
and it kind of gives the illusion, I guess, that someone's controlling them too as part of the game, which I guess they
I
are.
genuinely, in the very first or second episode, I genuinely thought it's gonna be as they progress through the game, they gonna become the guards because of the way exactly the way guards were portrayed. That they had their rooms and they couldn't show their face, and they
Yeah,
were just another level of bureaucracy. Even the host. But I would like that side story with the police guy and the internal structure of the whole thing. I found that to be so much more actually interesting. I know most people, like a lot of people, said it was like the bit distracting and all that from the main story and main
no, I
characters,
liked it.
but and it was just there to show us the. But I really like. I wanted to see. I really want to see what happens with him. So I don't. And I hope he's not dead because he was shot in the shoulder.
Yeah,
So
but
and his brother.
so if you bring that up, the brother,
But I didn't get one thing about that. I was gonna ask you, but go ahead.
yeah, I don't know if I got it, probably not. But why is it that some are saying that the main old guy, he was trying to groom the the main
People.
character to replace him? But what about the guy who's already running the show? Why isn't that guy? Why isn't
May,
that guy?
maybe maybe he's gonna replace him,
Mm,
like because I don't because he's a former winner. It seems
yeah,
the host. So maybe that's the thing. When you become a winner, then like now he's dead. So I guess he needs an heir. But some people say Gigun is his son. Like that, there are some. I hope it's not the case because it
hmm,
sounds like a bit becoming soap opera. But some
yeah,
people say there are hints that he may be his son because when they're going through the town,
hmm,
the marble thing, he says, "Oh, this looks just like where me and my son were, and you." And then Gigun says, "Oh yeah, I remember when I was very young, we lived in somewhere like this." And then they talk about And then a couple of times he talks about, you're just like my son. I used to slap him on the, I used to, what do you call that in English? Spank. I
Spank.
used to spank it. Yeah, I used to spank him and all
Yeah.
that.
Or
Like he didn't drink his milk or something. So, there were hints of that. So maybe that's the case. But I don't know. I don't think he was grooming him. I think during the game,
yeah.
Gigun changed him. And then now, even though he may feel like humanity is lost and all that, he hopes Gigun. I think that was the whole point of the end thing, that at the last second he sets it up so the police comes, so that in a way, again, like
Mm.
I think humanity is shit, but I hope you're wrong. But I
Yeah.
hope I'm wrong and you're right. So I think that was the thing. But yeah, I wanted to ask, I the guy, the brother, right? They were brothers, right? The police guy and the host, right?
Yeah.
But he just go missing, or did he go missing many years ago? Because it seems he went, like, he was the host, he was the winner from many years ago.
Yeah. I
and
think.
and then why in the beginning it seemed like he went to his house and he looked at some pictures, and I
Mm.
need to watch episode 1 again. But yeah, I really didn't get that. If anybody, like, I didn't understand, did he like just go missing, or he's been missing for years? Why did he suddenly like heard that? And because he heard that at the police station he went, yeah, I don't know. So
Yeah.
that
No. Then.
was something I wasn't clear to me.
And the
And
game
yeah,
has been going on for 33 years or something, apparently.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, his brother won it like
90.
a few years ago or something like that. They made it seem like not that long ago.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not. I don't remember.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what
Anyway,
about.
yeah, that I didn't get really.
So, for instance, someone here wrote, can you compare Squid Game with Slumdog Millionaire? So, I mean, I haven't watched Slumdog Millionaire. I don't know about that. But
I
what about
watched it
Hunger
years ago.
Games? Is Hunger Games like a lower level of Squid Game? I mean, it has the
Very
whole
low
thing of.
level.
It has the
Like
same
you're
thing,
going very low. But I
but
would
the
say, wait,
dynamic of really
Slumdog.
rich people, or like in Hunger Games, I guess it's everyone being entertained by these people playing this crazy game. So, at that basic level, it's
For
very
sure.
similar.
No, I wanted to say, I would say Slumdog is a bit more, I would say, a bit less cynical and more fast paced. I mean, it's a movie as well. It's not a series, so it makes sense. And it's Danny Boyle's style of fast paced, which I love. But that's what I recall. But I would say, yeah, there are similarities definitely, because you have people in a slum. Although, yeah, oh yeah, there is the game concept in the Who Wants to Be. Yeah, good point. Very interesting comparison. I didn't think of that. But Hunger Games, I don't know, man. Hunger Games is a pretty obvious. I mean, it's not. It's like mashing sort of battle royale with sort of risk type, or like different factions and
Yeah.
this, typical YA young adult sort of, I don't know. I think it's like, yeah, you're right though. But that's like very weak version of this, I think.
Yeah, no,
I don't
for
know. What
sure.
do you think?
No, no, for
Did
sure.
you
I
ever
mean,
did you ever read the Hunger Games?
I don't read
No.
fiction books.
Why? Oh,
I
ever?
just
Or
can't. I
wow?
just can't do it. I just can't do it.
Can you? Well, like you don't read even like Jules Verne's or like Edgar
Oh
Allan Poe, or
no, when I was a
really?
kid, like maybe a little
No?
bit, but no, not read. And when I was a kid, I didn't read, and now that I read, I like to read nonfiction and that kind of
Jane
stuff.
Eyre? Jane Austen?
I,
Jesus.
I
Okay.
mean, I've read those in school, so I've
All
read
right.
Jane Eyre and Jane Austen in school, but not like
Okay, we are
by
going down
myself.
now. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter.
You know, I don't like those settings. Although I've told you Harry Potter's a good movie, surprisingly, but
Lord of the Rings is a far better
no.
movie, but okay. Jeez. Okay, wait. All right, Chekhov. No, you should read Russian writers. You like them. You definitely like Russian.
What,
Like,
you
this
Matt
is
Taibbi?
ridiculous, man. No, but like Chekhov
Joking.
is like, it's like necessary. Yeah. I mean, I could never get through War and Peace, so I'm not the one to talk. So,
Okay. What else? Do you have anything else?
but I would. No, I mean, I want to just want to spend the rest of my life promoting this TV show, pretty much. So
Really?
yeah, I have a lot to talk about, but I really don't know what else to say except it's great, and check it out, and check out the
I
Wisecrack
know.
video on the thing. It's like a great video, probably one of the best video essay on the
Yeah.
topic on this TV show, because it's more than just a review. It's a deep analysis, and yeah, and yet yeah, it's fucking great. Watch.